Hello everyone, it's Tracy. Welcome to the Skat Katz YouTube channel. Thanks very much for joining me. Today I'm doing an unboxing of the manual open heat press and its first use. The heat press I'm using is the UltraKraft 15'x15" manual open heat press, available from Skat Katz, and I shall put a link in the description box below. I will also be using some heat transfer vinyl today, and the heat transfer vinyl I'll be using is from Caesar. Skat Katz is the authorised Caesar reseller here in Australia. The HTV or heat transfer vinyl colour I'm using is Sun, and it's the PS Extra heat transfer vinyl, and I'll link it below. So let's get started. So I have the heat press here in its box, how it comes on the floor in my craft room. Just removing that banding. This is not my first heat press. I have had a heat press now for probably over 10 years, and I did get that first one from Skat Katz as well. The first one I had is a very heavy machine. This one's not. So you'll open the box and the first thing you'll see is the instruction manual, and I'll go through that with you soon. So I'm just removing the packaging that comes in the box, and you can see the heat press there. It's in sort of like a plastic bag. Just come around to get a better view. I'm going to take it out of the box, and there's another polystyrene piece down the bottom there. I'm just setting it on the floor in my craft room at the moment. So this is what it looks like when you get it out the box. Open it up. That mat is stuck to the top, so I'm just putting that down in place on the bottom plate. And the thing I like about this heat press is the power plug that plugs into the power point is a standard one. My older press had a 15 amp plug, which did not fit in a standard power point, and I had to use a special power point in my husband's shed. So that's what I do like about this one. Plugs into a standard power point. So here's the owner's manual here, and I'm going to go through that with you now. It covers a few heat presses, as I'm showing here, but we're going to be talking about the one that I've got here, which is the manual open press. So as you're going through the book, you can see the manual open press is the first one. Then we've got the combo heat press, the auto open heat press, swing away heat press, the pneumatic heat press, fully automatic press, and the cap heat press. Also talks about the digital control panels. This first one's not the one for our press, but this one is. Also goes on to talk about the LCD controllers on the other machines. So it's a good multi-purpose manual. So the one on the left there, that's the control panel for the heat press that I'm unboxing today. But you do get a look at the other control panels as well. Next you move on to a guide in the book, and that gives you a good summary on how to use your heat press and some tips and tricks. This part here on the bottom of this right page has got some really good tips about using Teflon pillows and things. And then there's a guide on the next page as well, and some troubleshooting if you need to. So it's quite a good little manual that comes with the heat press. So moving on, I've moved my heat press now up onto one of the benches in my craft room. As you can see, it doesn't really take up that much real estate. I've opened it up. This top plate is the plate that heats up. The bottom plate does not. Just turn it around to the side, give you a side view of it. My benches are 550, I think, in diameter, so it fits on there just nicely. You press it down to close it. Just give you a view from the other side now and show you where the power switch is. It is on the back there. And I'm going to turn it on. There's also a circuit breaker switch. So I'm just turning the heat press on there, and the heat press will now heat up. And you do heat the heat press with it open. So we'll talk now about the control panel on the heat press. And I've got my camera zoomed right in for this part. So this is the control panel, and I'm zoomed right in, and you can see that currently it's at 35 degrees, 36, it's heating up. and it will heat up to 160 that I've set there. The other buttons here on the right, the set button, if you press P1, that talks about the temperature, and you can raise or lower the temperature by using the up and down buttons as I'm showing here. Press it again for P2 and that sets your time. So this is set for 15 seconds. So you can raise it or lower it by pressing up and down. P3 is the difference between Celsius or centigrade and Fahrenheit. And you just change that by pressing the up and down. Here in Australia, we would use Celsius or centigrade. P4, the next adjustment, you can have the heat raise or lower by any certain degree whilst the lid is down. And then P5, you can set a little timer to give you a warning beep before it's finished its cycle, and you can see mine there is set to 3 seconds. So that's the control panel. Not very difficult at all. Next we'll move on to pressure control, and pressure control is quite important with heat pressing. The pressure control is this dial on the top here in the center, and you would turn it clockwise to tighten it and anti-clockwise to loosen it for less pressure, and mine is set there around middle. So let's press a shirt. And I'm going to press a shirt for my husband for his business. He's not had any shirts from me for a little while, like about 5 years, so it's time to give him some updated ones. So the first thing I'm doing is preheating the shirt. That gets any additional moisture that might be in the shirt out, and I'm going to do both sides of the t-shirt. So I'm just popping it in there and giving it a 15-second press at 160 degrees on both sides of the shirt, just to get out any moisture. And that's always recommended with heat pressing anything. Next, I'm going to cut the design using the Silhouette Cameo 4 in Silhouette Studio. And you can see my design there on the screen on my computer. It's my husband's business name and his phone number. And there's 2 designs there, one for the back of his shirt and one for the front. So that's the Cameo, just cutting it out, and you will notice that I mirrored the design. Then I'll move on to pressing the design. And the heat transfer vinyl comes with a carrier. That's what that plastic is. And I'm just positioned it in place where I want it, and I'm pressing it for 15 seconds at 160 degrees. Sped up, of course, there, so you're not going to wait. And then I can peel the carrier off, and that can be done warm. Some heat transfer vinyl you do peel cold. Next, I'm putting a Teflon sheet over it and giving it a final press for 15 seconds at 160. And that's the design on the back of the shirt, and I went on and did the design on the front too. And just a reminder to crafters using heat transfer vinyl to follow the specifications that comes with the vinyl, as in the temperature, time and pressure settings, to ensure you get good results. So that's my unboxing and project share video finished for today. I hope you've enjoyed watching and that you feel inspired to try some heat transfer vinyl. Don't forget to check the description box down below for the links that I've previously mentioned. And if you'd like to subscribe to Skat Katz YouTube channel, the Skat Katz would really love that. Thanks very much for watching today. Have a great day, and until next time, it's bye for now.